Hello gamers of the Game Pro, welcome back to another video for Hearthstone. This one is a pretty important video to be made for the upcoming expansion, Boomsday product, coming out on the 7th, 1 PM EST. If you guys are looking forward to that, make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell to receive a little extra piece of notification so you guys don't miss the stream. I'm going to be doing live opening 130 packs and then playing with the new cards, of course, on ladder and enjoying the new expansion as it is. These are some of the plans I have for now. There's a little bit more I have to think about. But currently, the things that have been solved in my head, at least, or seem very obvious. We have the new Zoo, we have the new Odd Rogue, the new Shutterwalk, the new Token Druid, the new Malygos Druid, and the new Spell Hunter. These are the 6 decks I figured out for the new expansion, and what I'm going to be modifying, with maybe like 1 or 2 card changes as well. So we'll start off with right at the top. The top deck in the current game to get higher in Legend and to climb Legend is Spell Hunter. So when we look at Spell Hunter, I made 2 card changes only. I removed the 2 underperforming cards of the deck. There was Rat Trap and Unleash the Hounds. I had one other option, but the simplest change to this deck that I could make is these 2 cards. They have the lowest performing win rates when drawn, when played, and when mulliganed for. Their mulligan win rates. So the simplest change for this deck is this card, new card for Hunter. Let me go back. There's 2 of them, okay? So it's called Secret Plan. Let me. I guess I'll go through and show each one when we. So you have to go to Boomsday, include uncraftable cards. So this is the card, Discover a Secret. So we removed Rat Trap, an inferior secret of the secret package that's in there for the Spellstone evolution, and we're including a Discover a Secret spell. This is a very good card because a lot of the time on turn 1, we will be doing tracking, but then now we can do Secret Plan instead to more often guarantee a good secret, because obviously having another Wandering Monster is worth the extra 1 mana that we weren't going to use anyways, and this curves out our deck a little bit more and makes the Secret Plan a more consistent strategy. That's the number one thing I've noticed from Hunter. There's not very many like outlandish, amazing, insane cards. I'm not sure how the Death Rattle package is gonna like look right now, because that deck is a little bit more complicated, whereas this is, we can't run minions, we have some underperforming cards, let's just make it more consistent and fix the curve a little bit. So easy, 2 secret plans, let's move on. I did Zoo. So current zoos are like with a few card changes. You can run double Spellbreakers, double Void Ripper, double Light Warden. But then okay, so there's a few cards I noticed that were not performing well. It had double Doomguard, wasn't performing well. It had 2 Spellbreakers and 1 Void Ripper. That was the top list. I removed 1 Spellbreaker, and it only runs 1 Light Warden. So I replaced the 2. I replaced the 2 Voidwalkers, and we will replace them with Crystallizers. Okay, I'll explain those in a second. And there's Doubling Imps and Solarium. Those are the 3 cards I decided to put in the deck. So we'll go through and show each one. So when you go crafting, uncraftable, Boomsday. So Solarium is this new legendary spell for Warlock, the one that draws 3 cards for 1 mana, and then at the end of the turn discard them. I think this card is going to be an auto-include in Zoolock, because you run out of steam, and you refill your hand and play them all in that 1 turn. The worst case scenario, of course, is that you draw multiple 5-drops, and you just cycle your deck of your Despicable Dreadlords and your Fungomancers, but you can still at least play 1 with it. It's not terrible. Card's insane if it hits multiple 1-drops, like, it's just really good, okay? Solarium should not be underestimated. This card is really good in Zoo. So that's the first one. Had to fit that in. The next one is the Doubling Imp. It's a 3-mana 4/4 that is similar to Chain Gang, that it gets the buffs from from Keleseth. It's a really good card. decent on its own, even without getting the buffs, and it fits well in this Zoolock package. So had to fit Doubling Imp in. Not sure so much about Soul Infusion because it's going to hit cards that you don't want buffed a lot of the time. Fungalmancer, Despicable Dreadlord, etc. You don't want this buff on them, so this card's inconsistent, probably not good enough. Where this is just baseline good and Solarium's just good. And then we had the new Crystallizer. It's the new neutral 1-drop. This helps Zoolock especially because you want to enable your Happy Ghoul and get the most out of the healing cards in your deck. So lowering yourself by 5 and gaining 5 armor is really good, while it being a 1-mana 1/3, it can easily replace Voidwalker with this card, and I thought it was an easy fit because it's better in the deck. Giving up a taunt should be fine. So there's the new Zoo for you. Doubling Imp, 1 Solarium, and double Crystallizer. Okay, so the new odd Rogue with Myra, pretty simple. So you know the new 5-mana spell for Rogue, draw the rest of your deck. I fit that in instead of the 5-mana 4/6 Enrage weapon buff guy. I don't remember his name. That was the card that was in this deck that I said, this doesn't really fit. Let's remove this and replace it with a good card, Spiteful Smith. We took out Spiteful Smith. This is in the top list for Odd Rogue. And then we replaced the 2 Dire Moles with the Crystallizer that I showed earlier. I think Crystallizer is better than Dire Mole since we don't have B synergy, and the 1/3 that replaces your health with armor is just better. Possibly. It's not better in the late game where you can't afford the HP, the 5 HP. But really, if you're in that situation, you probably lost anyways. And the reason why I think Myra legendary spell is good is because you normally run out of steam with Rogue, and you're going to lose anyways because you're out of cards in your hand. So you might as well put yourself into the fatigue timer to have an extra chance to win the game. It's worth the loss of Spiteful Smith for this Myra's Unstable Solution or whatever. Good card. New Shutterwalk Shaman's pretty simple. I replaced 2 cards. This was the best deck that I saw. So we have the new Storm Surge and Storm Surge and 1 second. New Storm Surge and Menace. Oh no, Electro Storm Surge and Storm Chaser. I got confused. Fucking hell. So let me go show those 2. So we have Storm Chaser. It's the 4-mana 3/4 elemental that draws a spell from your deck that costs 5 or more. In Shutterwalk Shaman, this basically says, hey, draw your Volcano. So having Volcano more consistently for 5, it's really, really good. And then your opponent, there will be situations where your opponent doesn't expect you to have 2, and you have 2. And 2 Volcanoes is great, 1 Volcano is great. And there's the only case where this is bad, is you already have the 2 Volcanoes in your hand, and you draw this. But still, hey, you got 2 Volcanoes in your hand. Can't complain. Electro Storm Surge is the 3-mana 3/3 that your next spell casts twice. So you play this with Farsight, broken. Play this with Lightning Storm, broken. Play this with Lightning Bolt, broken. And everything. Good card. Insane. Shutterwalk will be great with those 2 additions. Here we have the new Token Druid. So I removed the double power. What the fuck is it called? Power of the Wild. And I removed the Cenarius. So Cenarius was underperforming and probably too weird for the deck. So we're adding Floops, the legendary spell for Druid, and Bio. What the fuck was Bio again? God damn it. Biology Project, yes, 2 Biology Projects and the new Floop spell. So the new Floop spell is really insane for Druid, for Token Druid specifically. So So yeah, Floop's Glorious Gloop, 1 mana whenever a minion dies this turn, gain 1 mana crystal this turn only, so you have a big board, you trade them in, you play this, you play this, trade your whole board, you gain 1,000,000 mana crystals, make a big-ass swing turn against aggro, and you win the game. And as well, Biology Project is for those games where you want to ramp up really hard. Obvious, each player gains 2 mana crystals. It's also an innervate, so you can combo this with Violet Teacher for some crazy big turns where it's a better innervate. Next, Malygos Druid. This one's interesting. Why is there an underscore there? Fixed. Alright. So we have Malygos Druid. Can I redo this? I think it was just Floop and Biology Project, and there was one. So there's a question mark here. I put Floop and Biology Project, but this is the other Floop. This is the legendary minion Phlebidinous Floop. Obviously, we know why. Them, you play Malygos, you play Phlebidinous Floop, then you can do swipe double Moonfire for the 22 damage lethal, 21 damage lethal, whatever. It's insane with Alexstrasza, and you also have the alternative where you twig into Malygos, Phlebidinous Floop, double, or swipe, and then double Moonfire. It's pretty good, pretty good. It's like 40 damage combos. It's just that I'm not sure what the third card I should remove is, because I looked at the list and I've looked at the win rates of the cards, and they're all performing really well. The worst card to draw is Ironwood Golem, and the worst card to play is Ironwood Golem, but the reason why that is because Oaken Summons is a card, so this package stays together. Branching Pass is really good. Wild Growth is good, Naturalize is good, Spellstone is good, Moonfire is good, Swipe's good for the combo. You need Arcane Tyrant, Nourish is insane, Spreading Plague's insane, Malfurion's insane. This is the combo, and obviously this stands out for itself. This is better than the replacement anyways. So it becomes, do you remove Twig, or like a random Naturalize, or like a Spellstone? Like it makes the deck worse. To put, or the other alternative was a Spreading Plague. A Spreading Plague actually performs really terribly, apparently, in the stats. It's like the second worst card in the deck to play. So yeah, there's some uncertainty here about either Twig or Spreading Plague, so I haven't done it yet, but this is the idea. Those are the cards I'm thinking about for Malygos Druid, and those are the 6 decks I figured out right now. My list of decks I still have to look at: Odd Paladin, Even Shaman, Even Warlock, Mech Pally, Death Rattle Hunter, Death Rattle Quest Priest, Token Shaman, Hero Warrior, which, by the way, the reason I said Hero Warrior is because I don't think Mech Warrior looks very good, but the Hero is great. So Hero Warrior, Tempo Mage, Luna Mage, Mech Pally, Spider Rogue. If you don't know what Spider Rogue is, it's basically Miracle Rogue, but you run the 2 mana guy for Rogue, Lab Recruiter with Spider, and Myra's Unstable Element. So after you Myra's Unstable Element, you would play You'd play Feldori Strider with Lab Recruiter, and you would put so many of Feldori Striders in your deck, and then when you play the Feldori Striders, you put a bunch of Spiders in your deck, and you're just spamming the board with 4/4s back to back to back to back, and your opponent has trouble clearing, and it's basically like you've created Quest Rogue without the quest, sort of. Anyways, looking forward to planning out the rest of the decks. I don't think Mecha-Thune Druid's as good as I thought it was going to be, due to, if this deck is ever popular and is ever good, you literally just run, Shulking Geist, and then it's bad. So there's that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the simple deck guide for the first day of the expansion. This is just the simplest changes without affecting some of the top tier decks too much, so that we know they're still good. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the new expansion as much as I am. Take it easy, boys.